When you dig for records in Japan, if you're only looking for new sealed copies, this probably isn't the right video for you. But if you're looking for records that have been owned before, records that have been inspected, graded, and sold as used, then there's something you start to notice after a while. It isn't obvious at first. It comes from browsing different record stores, from pulling records out and inspecting them, from seeing familiar artists show up in different places. At first, it's confusing, but slowly you begin to recognize patterns. The way records are graded, the way condition is described, the way information is communicated. And over time, you realize something else. Record grading in Japan doesn't function the way you expect it to. At a record fair, the first thing you notice is how much is happening all at once. Rows of boxes from different sellers, different cities, different genres. You're completely on your own here. What complicates things is that you're constantly encountering different ways of describing the same thing. Here, I'm looking at ushio. The grading looks formal, almost technical. The labels are clear, but not immediately familiar. It's obvious there's a system here, but it's not one you can translate at a glance. So I slow down. I look at how the record has been handled. I look at the condition. I look at how consistent the labeling feels from one record to the next. The people working the tables are not shop owners. They don't know the records. They're here to manage the flow. So you have to work with what's in front of you. After a while, you start to feel the limits of a place like this. At a fair, everything depends on who's standing behind the table. The grading, the language, the assumptions. But it also makes you aware of something else. What it feels like when those variables disappear. When the system, and not the seller, does the talking. That's where a place like Disc Union comes in. Here, everything feels different. The layout is consistent, the grading is consistent, the presentation barely changes from one store to the next. Here, grading isn't personal, it's procedural. The same standards are applied across locations, the same terminology, the same expectations. When I pick up a record here, I don't need to think very hard about what the grade means. The system does that for me. It's predictable, it's repeatable, and that's exactly what it's designed to be. At a shop like Mekino, that consistency comes from a different place. Grading feels conservative, deliberate, restrained. The judgments are careful. Nothing feels overstated. You get the sense that experience is doing the work, that trust isn't being claimed, it's being implied. At Chilfi, the approach shifts again. Grading is literal, disc first, fact-based. There is no reassurance, no interpretation offered on your behalf. Grading is described plainly as it is. What you see is what you get. Seen together, these approaches can feel contradictory, but they aren't. The grading never changed. The context did. Once you understand the context, the grading stops being confusing. The question is no longer, what does this grade mean in general? It becomes, what is this grade telling me right here?